What if everything you were told about La Llorona was a lie? What if the weeping woman haunting rivers and dark roads wasn't a monster at all, but someone who had been silenced, blamed, and cursed for centuries by the very people who feared her most? Stay with me, because this changes everything. Most of us grew up hearing the same story. A woman loses her children, drowns them in grief or madness, and is condemned to wander forever, weeping, searching, crying out in the night. Parents use her name to keep children indoors after dark. She becomes the warning, the cautionary tale, the villain wrapped in white. But here is what nobody asks: who told that story first, and whose version survived? Across Mesoamerican history, long before Spanish colonization rewrote the cultural memory of entire civilizations, there existed powerful feminine spirits tied to water, death, and the crossing between worlds. These were not monsters, these were guardians. Ancient forces connected to rivers, to birth, to mourning, and to justice. They were respected, sometimes feared, yes, but in the way you fear something sacred, not something evil. Then colonization happened, and suddenly the powerful woman crying at the water became a horror story. Think about that pattern for one moment throughout history. When a culture wants to erase a feminine power, it does not destroy her outright. It rewrites her. It transforms the guardian into the threat. It takes her grief, which was real, which was valid, and turns it into madness. It takes her connection to the spirit world and calls it wickedness. La Llorona never stopped weeping, because the curse will not let her rest. And the curse was not divine punishment for her sins. The curse was the story itself. Every retelling that painted her as the danger rather than the one in danger kept her trapped, kept her powerless, kept her searching without anyone understanding what she was truly searching for. She is not hunting children. She is hunting the truth of who she was before someone else decided what she would become. There are older oral traditions passed quietly through generations in certain indigenous communities that describe her very differently, not as a vengeful specter, but as a mourning spirit calling attention to injustice, a witness to violence that was never acknowledged, a voice that could not be silenced even after everything else was taken. Her cry is not a threat. It is testimony, and maybe that is exactly why the dominant culture needed her to be terrifying. A weeping woman demanding justice is far more dangerous than a monster you can simply run from. So the next time you hear her wail echoing somewhere between legend and memory, consider this. What if her revenge is not violence? What if her revenge is simply refusing to disappear, refusing to stop crying until someone finally listens, truly listens, and says out loud what was done, what was taken, and what was never supposed to be forgotten? She is still out there, still weeping, still waiting, and now you know why.